Morning everybody, it's the 10th of March 2013, we're one day away from Mother's Day, and I just thought I'd make a short little video about motherhood, and there's a particular poem that I would like to read which means something to me and I hope might touch your soul as well. I'm making this video sitting in my dining room. There is the usual family clutter around me, and if you have really astute hearing you might be able to hear the washing machine in the background, which is on in most family homes, isn't it, all the time. So a pretty typical family home. I'm blessed to be a mother, and I remember before I became a mother, a good friend of mine saying to me, when I asked her what it was going to be like, what could I expect? And she said to me, and it was very astute and very wise, and her words have come back many, many times to me, and she said, it will be the greatest journey you ever go on, and it will be the greatest highs and the greatest lows. And I think by that she just meant that it is the full spectrum of emotions that you go through as a parent. Indescribable joy and happiness, but also children push our buttons, and they're meant to at the end of the day, and they can be our greatest teachers as well. I certainly feel that my children are my greatest teachers, and constantly push me to try to be a better version of who I am as a human being. I also wanted just to say this morning, as well as wishing all mums Happy Mother's Day, as well as my own mother, Happy Mother's Day, but also to just acknowledge the gift of life that mothers give. And, all of us have that unique bond that we all came into the world via a woman who hopefully usually chose to have us. I know that's not always the case, but a lot of the time it's through a choice that's made, and the gift of life is given and a child is born. And really just honouring that amazing gift that anybody gives us, which is the gift of life. And whatever our relationship is with our own mothers, whether we have happy, joyful, satisfying relationships with them, or whether they are more difficult and fraught, it doesn't really matter. But that the main thing is the gift of life that they've given us, and I really feel that we just need to honour that this weekend. I'm also very conscious, a bit like Christmas, that some people watching this may have lost their mothers, or maybe haven't even ever known their mothers. My mum actually was adopted, and so although she was brought up in a very loving family, and of course had a mum, but her actual birth mother she never knew, so she never knew the woman that gave birth to her. So sometimes that happens, doesn't it, in the world? And also, sadly, of course, a lot of people, well, eventually we all have to face up to the fact that we're going to probably lose our mother. And so therefore, again, a bit like Christmas, I think there's a lot of poignancy, a lot of reflection on this particular day. And I just wanted to really strip it bare of a lot of the commercialisation that goes around it with regard to cards and flowers and chocolates, and all of that is lovely. I actually am a bit of a sucker for all that, and I'm hoping for certainly a chocolate or two for my kids tomorrow, and I'm sure I will probably get that. But also just to remember the beautiful gift that motherhood is all about. And I'd like to read you this poem. Some of you I'm sure know it. This book was given to me by my good friend Joe. It's called A Prophet by Kahlil Gibran. Excuse me if the pronunciation is wrong there, probably is, doesn't matter. But there's a poem here about what it is basically to bring up children, and how really the whole thing about motherhood is really a process actually of letting go. A lot of the time we bring children into the world, but eventually obviously we have to let them go, and hopefully empower them to be the best that they can be. And I love this poem, and I'm going to just read it to you as my gift to you this Mother's Day. Okay, so here we go. Let's find the right page. And a woman who held a babe against her bosom said, "Speak to us of children." And he said, "Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you. For life goes not backward, nor tarries with yesterday. You are the bows from which your children as living arrows are sent forth. The archer sees the mark upon the path of the infinite, and he bends you with his might, that his arrows may go swift and far. Let your bending in the archer's hand be for gladness, for even as he loves the arrow that flies, so he loves also the bow that is stable. So for those of you that are mothers this weekend, and whether you're new mums, lots of people with young babies, I know quite a few at the moment, I know people that are pregnant, I know people who have lost their mothers, and I know people like me who are enjoying the process of bringing up their children at the moment. Just that last line, for even as he loves the arrow that flies, so he loves also the bow that is stable. Be that stable bow to your children, and also, like the arrow, just let them fly when they need to. Happy Mother's Day, everybody. Bye for now.